I want to introduce you now to one of these early dedicated believers, one of the founders of the All-Stars, and someone who has been a part of making these discoveries, developing these discoveries, and sharing them with others. Please welcome All-Stars board member, an associate professor and coordinator of psychology at Bronx Community College, Dr. Rafael Mendez.
Good evening. What a pleasure to see you all. So, I must say it's quite emotional for me to be here with you. 1984 is the year I met Pam Lewis. 1984 was the year that Dr. Fred Newman said to me and a few of our colleagues, said, we need to do some new things in the community. So let's try to do some talent shows in the community. So I was one of the groupings that organized the first All-Stars Talent Show Network. And I was part of that team that went around and did what we could to raise 50 cents, $1, $5, $50 to create the shows. And when I look around at the supporters who have invested in what we've created, there's nothing like it. The 270 of you who entered DSY this year, you're following in some footsteps of young people like yourself who dared to be smart. And you are smart because you got here. And you have a wonderful opportunity. You have gone through the leadership training program. You've met some of the most brilliant people in the world. You met Lois Holtzman, an international scholar, brilliant beyond belief. Lenora Falani. There's a woman to follow. So, Gabrielle. So, you've met leaders who have pioneered creating a methodology for learning and development. And I want to tell you a little bit about the significance of it because you have to practice it. That's your job. So, we are in a major crisis in our culture, a crisis in education. It is beyond description how bad it is. 50% of all the kids who enter New York City public school systems don't come close to graduating. But of those who graduate, half of them cannot read at an 8th grade level. So you are some of our very best. And we want to make sure that you have the best. I teach at Bronx Community College, my alma mater, because I was once like you. Sadly, many of our colleges that serve the communities of the poor use a methodology that fails to teach our kids. They're part of the crisis. We're developing a methodology that understands that you need to develop emotionally if you're going to learn. And the keys to learning and development are performing, philosophizing, pretending, and playing. So I want you to play with philosophizing, asking big questions about little things. When you don't understand something, ask, what did you mean by that? What is that? There is no dumb question except the one that goes unasked. So, we're socialized to play our roles. There's lots of roles that we play in society. The student role is a role. And the way that we're socialized to be a student keeps us dumb. Because the way that we're socialized in school to be a student is that we're not asked to ask questions, but to memorize. To memorize what you're told to remember. It's insufficiently creative. It's insufficiently ambitious. It's much too passive. You need to take responsibility for your education. You need to take responsibility for creating the environment that will support development. So at DSY, that's what we're committed to. We're committed to helping you learn the 3 Ps: playing, pretending, and performing. Performance is the activity of doing what you don't know how to do. That's the learning activity. The learning activity is doing what you don't know how to do. And with that comes all sorts of emotions, like it shouldn't be so hard. I should know this already. This is boring. It's not about your feelings. It's about creating new life activities that will allow you to grow. And that's a performance. So when you're at these internships, you are our partners with JP Morgan and with so many corporations who have dared to step forward in our culture of crisis and said, we need to make an investment in our urban youth. We need to do that, and so you are it. You are being invested in, and as they said, they learn from you. They're adding more internships because the prior interns had such a wonderful impact on them. And you will too, if you are you and who you are becoming. Dare to grow, dare to develop, dare to go all the way. You are genuinely our future. We can't grow if you don't grow. So dare to grow. It's a pleasure being with you and among you. And thank you, JP Morgan. Thank you, corporates. Thank you, family. Thank you all for building what we need to build so that our country continues to grow and develop and be a player in the world as we should be. All the best.